is there like a favorite quote of yours that, has guided your path, or that, that you always go back to kind of give you, to kind of give you direction?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's many. There's many of them. So the first one is by Carl Rogers, and he says something along the lines of, the moment you come to accept yourself is the moment that you can make changes in your life. Because often people try to force themselves to make changes,
Right.
and they can never make the change. I see this all the time when I'm working with my clients. So I'm talking with them. The moment, like, they try really hard to try to make a change. They try to talk themselves into doing things differently, and they can't. So, but when I get them to accept themselves first, like I validate them, validate their emotions, suddenly it becomes much easier for them to make that change. It's something blocking them. So when we don't validate ourselves, there's a block. But when I did the validation, then it's easier for both of us to talk about what can we do differently here. But when they resist their emotion, when they say, I have to do things differently, then they're stuck. They can't move forward. I see this time and time again. The more like we accept ourselves as we are, ironically, we start to change.
Right. Sounds like a lot of, you gotta be willing to be vulnerable and reveal yourself, like be completely honest, and just have no expectations of how people are going to judge you afterwards, right?
Yes.
Because some people are gonna either like you or dislike you,
right?
And that's fine, right? Most of the times we want to people please, right? And please everyone, and we want everybody to be on board with whatever we're saying.
Right.
And so that's really on point what you said. I think by becoming the most authentic version of ourselves, we ironically, like influence more people. Maybe people relate with us better just because we are, just showing ourselves as who we really are, rather than pretending.
That's true. And I see it time and time again. Like even like, for example, there's a lot of techniques get used in order to, like when I'm working with clients, there's techniques, or when you play music, there's techniques. But I always find it to be the case that when you focus on what's genuine from your heart, all the techniques come naturally. You learn them, but like for some reason, like when you're so focused on like I have to do it this way or that way, or you try to calculate how to do things, it becomes very, very, very hard. But then the moment you tap into yourself, yes, the techniques help, but they just follow. They follow you doing your own thing. So it's actually the path of least effort in the end that works. It's really fascinating. It's really fascinating because everybody thinks it's just all about like hard work and you just have to do this. You have to go through all these hoops, but it's really you channeling yourself completely.
Yeah, I guess it could get a little tricky sometimes, because at the end of the day, we all have the answers we seek, right? And I don't know, we make it so complex sometimes, trying to find the gambits or the right things to say or do that's gonna, make us feel more confident and more capable. But at the end of the day, it's just about being honest about who you are, or what do they say? Know thyself, right? Know thyself, and you'll have access to all the things that you want in life, right? Something like that.
That's true.
So
yeah, and what people really want you to bring is your own energy. They don't want you to be like anyone else, and we're often just trying to follow the footsteps of someone else. We're trying to learn their ways, and it's going to be a really difficult journey because it's impossible to be somebody else. But like people really want to see you because you're going to bring your own gifts to the table. I work with clients and they don't believe in themselves. They think, for instance, they have some sort of disorder, and they don't value themselves for it. So they end up placing a lot of pressure on themselves. They say, for example, they have attention deficit disorder. They can't focus. They try to do things like a normal person, like someone who's normal. They try to do things exactly the way they do it. They can never keep up. They always view themselves very critically, like they're very down. It's just like, if I don't do this correctly, then I'm like a bad person. I'm a failure, right? It doesn't work. Like the more you trust that you have your own gifts. So, for example, people with attentional problems, they often are very creative. So when you can trust how you are built and the way you're built is completely fine, and you pursue it with a sense of curiosity and openness, then it's going to show, it's going to come out. You're going to be able to find your way. And it doesn't follow any kind of rubric. So some people, maybe they show their talents at a young age. For other people, it's later, but everyone has their own time. You just become one with the process in itself, and you can trust that it'll show up when you, like, as long as your heart is in it. Yeah.
I have this mantra, if you will, like an affirmation that I tell myself every morning, and I go something like, everything is unfolding perfectly for me, right? I repeat myself, everything's unfolding perfectly for me. Everything's unfolding perfectly for me.
Yes.
And it's basically what you said, just trust the process and just be vigilant, right, of what the actions that you're going to take are going to be. But I think that's better than to be anxious and always trying to make things happen and just force things, into reality.
That's true.
So
it's only like looking back, I'm able to piece together my life. The reason why I'm at this place at this time, but at the time I would have no idea. Because I had like an idea of what I want to do with my life before I wanted to get a doctorate degree. And I was so focused on it. I was like, since high school, it's like I said, that's exactly what I want to do in my life. And I deprived myself of everything else in life just to focus on working very, very hard to get a doctorate degree. And once I got into the doctorate program, once I stepped foot in it, I hated it. So like, you see, I spent so many years trying to focusing on this one idea of who I'm supposed to be. And then the moment I stepped in, I hated it. And I became really depressed because that's how I saw myself. This is how I'm supposed to be. So, funny enough, right in that program, in that same school, just across the hallway from my program, there is another program, and it's about creativity research. They have a master's program for creativity research, and they don't have it in many places, right? So I was like, wow, that's amazing, and that's when I joined that program, it changed my life. So maybe I thought I was going there just to get like my PhD, but I'm really showing up for something else. But when I let go of that idea, life is supposed to be a certain kind of way. And I kind of like let go and trust that life is taking me where I need to be. And things start to happen. Because when I did the creativity program, that's what led me to the TED Talk, because my TED Talk was on creativity.
Wow.
I looked at Western Eastern perspectives on creativity. So, yeah, just pursue things, but like as you said, not be so tied to what the result is, because you'll never know, and it's no fun actually knowing. If you know, it's no fun. It's like pursue, but it's like the mystery is really beautiful. And it was, it caused, for me in my life, it caused a lot of suffering because I was so focused on fixated on a certain idea, but it was worth it, right? Because that's what I would say. It's like even the suffering from social anxiety was worth it for me, because later on I became able to help people with social anxiety to succeed. So yeah, it's all worth it, but I would have no idea that's where it would be. I always saw myself as, I'm going to be a PhD student, but I'm going to be very shy. I'm not going to lead anybody. I'm just going to do a PhD research, and that's not true. When I let go of that idea, then what I become is a complete surprise. It's like a beautiful mystery.
Right.